Okay, this is ZA6YI. A very good afternoon. Good morning to Ed in Brazil. Good morning to Saro and the group in India. And of course, good afternoon to the UK, Holland, Europe. This is Zulu Sierra 6 Yankee India, operating the Sunday Worldwide DATV Net, which was originally inspired by Papa Yankee 2 Radio November, Old Man Ed. And then Saro also took over running it, and I was invited to do the same. So we're the three stooges, I would say. Anyway, today we just wish to, as normal, thank the Qatar Satellite Company for allowing us permission on their wonderful satellite. We have an amateur radio satellite on the same satellite as their commercial one, and it was thanks to AMSAT DL, Peter. He did a lot of work on organizing all this and getting the satellite designed. We also wish to thank AMSAT UK and of course the British Amateur Television Club. And there are a number of other guys as well that made a huge contribution to this hobby on DATV, and that's Fox 5 Oscar Echo Oscar and Fox 1 Echo Juliet Papa, to name a few. The potty antenna, 3 amateurs did it or designed it, the principal guy being Mike, G3MJW. He'll be on, I hope, a bit later today. Today we have the following listeners that I can see. It's Nina, a Delta Lima 2 Golf Radio Charlie. Had a long chat with Nina the other day. And then also Benar, Papa Alpha 3 Fox Bravo X-Ray. I just want to see who else might be on the net today. Hello, Martin. He's the chairman of the British Amateur Television Club. That's G4FKK. Nice to see you on, Martin. Hello to Mike, G0MJW. We mentioned earlier, the potty designer. And it's not the type that you use in the bathroom. And then we have a Delta Lima 5 Radio Tango. Hello, Robert. Good to see you'll be on the net. I just want to see if there's anyone on the other. Good afternoon to Golf Whiskey 7 Bravo Zulu Yankee. Hello, Peter. Peter, if you don't mind taking it after Old Man Robert, Delta Lima 5 Radio Tango. If Robert, I'll put you in on the net now, Peter, on our little roll call. Hello to Uncle Frank, Delta 0 Charlie Whiskey. Hope you well, Frank. He's also listening. Bernard, Fox 5 Delta Bravo. Nice to see you on there, Bernard. And who else? I think Sandor might be listening. I'm not sure. That's my old friend, Delta Mike 4 Delta Sierra. I know he was experimenting with a new computer. Anyway, yeah, I don't see Leon. And of course, Henry is out of touch. I didn't see him reading the WhatsApp comment. Let me just see. Ocean November 4 Alpha Hotel is on. Albert, good to see you on. And Albert's watching on YouTube. At the moment, there's 7 people on YouTube, so we wish to welcome you guys on as well. Right, with that, I shall get the net going, and I'll pass it to Ed in Brazil, Papa Yankee 2 Radio November. Ed, I wouldn't mind a comment on the video signal. I think we've improved it a bit, I think. Not terribly sure about that, but I hope so anyway. Papa Yankee 2 Radio November from ZA6YI.
All right, guys. Afternoon, Gary. Afternoon, Mike, Martin, Robert. Good morning for people here in South America, and good evening for people in Asia. Glad to participate again on the DATV WW Net. Great signal, Gary. I know that you got some issues with the Pluto last week, but for me, it's going perfect. Great signal, great audio, and graphic. nothing to nothing to add or suggest, Gary. It's perfect as usually. Nothing much going on except for another Windows 10 update this week, which caused the usual mess with the audio sources with the OBS. Interesting that I was doing some DATV QSOs yesterday, and I have corrected the audio sources for OBS. But this morning, before the net, I tried and I had no audio again. So I have to repeat the process and map the audio sources again. I mean the microphone and also the HDMI audio. But seems it's working now, hopefully. Other than that, oh, hello to Peter, also Golf Whiskey 7 Bravo Zulu Yankee. Other than that, believe that's it. Hi Nina, hello Nina and all the viewers on the YouTube and people that are able just for receiving. So, going to Martin, go for Fox Kilo Kilo. Hi Martin, all things over there, hope the weather is good. Here weather is good, I mean summer seems to be starting. Temperature at the moment 28 degrees and it's 10 a.m. in the morning, so probably it's gonna increase up to the 30s later on. So it's more feeling like summer than past weeks. We got like a cold front and we had a totally, out of season strange weather, cold, raining. But now it seems, it feels more normal now. So go for Fox Kilo Kilo. Please go ahead, Martin. This is Papa Yankee 2 Radio November and the DATV Net.
Right. Well, like you, Ed, I'm suffering from Windows 10 updates. I've only just switched the gear on effectively, and I noticed none of my audio sources were available. Then I realised it wasn't streaming either, so apologies for that. Anyway, hopefully it's working now. Let's have a listen. Oh, looks like the sync's working as well. Anyway, yes, good afternoon, everyone, and morning and evening. Sorry about the flickering. Again, this happens sometimes. I've got that tamed, but after my update, the USB video dongle, look at that, there it goes. Let's try a different camera. Let's just see if I've actually got audio on this one as well. Yep. So apologies for that stumbling start. But yeah, these Windows 10 updates getting more and more regular and more destructive as far as I can see. So I don't know what they're playing at. Not much to report, I'm afraid. I have actually been at home this week. I've been away from home for since September, basically, during the week, working either up in Birmingham or Manchester. I'm back up in Manchester tomorrow for another week. But I thought I'd take this week off because I had a few things to do at home, and then immediately got struck down with a traditional British autumn stinking cold. So my voice is still not recovering very well from that at the moment, so I won't drone on too long. But I did manage to make it onto the DATV net on Thursday, first time for some weeks. I can't remember the last time I was on this net. I think it was relatively recently, but I'm not too sure. Anyway, Gary, terrific signal from you, great signal from Ed, usual high quality from both stations there. So I don't know if Mike's ready. Mike said he might be a bit late. I don't know if he's working all the DX on 10 metres, which has been very well open here the last few days. It's it's got Russian signals on at the moment, which is fairly sad. It should be giving way to the East Coast Americans any time now. In fact, the FM beacon is coming through from New York. The FM repeater is coming through from New York at the moment. So all good on 10 metres. So very excited to see what you've been up to with your 10 metres, Mike. So let's push it over to you. I'll put a test card up just in case something else goes horribly wrong when I go back to receive. Golf 0, Mike Juliet Whiskey to take it with the Worldwide Web, Worldwide Net, SysG4 FKK standing by.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Berners-Lee. Yeah, is it working? Seems to be working. I'm being blinded by the sun here, which is just decided to come through the window at the right angle at the wrong time. So, just a few things to show. Sorry about the lip sync. It seems to have decided it's going to be in a different country again, or certainly a different time zone, and that's not quite pointing the right way either. What am I going to talk about very briefly? This lot. So this is the stuff that's on the bench for 10 meters, and the idea is to talk about 10 meters DATV. We need somebody who's a reasonable distance away with the capability of receiving DATV. You know, those sort of rare countries like South Africa or Brazil, where no one's operating from, or are operating from maybe, because we're seeing good signals in the US, but no one in the US seems to have the capability to transmit or receive DVB-S. They haven't got QO-100, that's probably why. So that is the amplifier, and I'll show a bit more of it. It's on at the moment. This is a zoom in on the Polycom. I thought I'd get the Polycom out. It's not been out for a long time, and it was getting a bit lonely. So that's the palette that I've got there for the amplification side of things, and there's a Pluto driving my transverter, driving a pre-driver amplifier. And unfortunately it's playing up a little bit. It was working fine yesterday, but I think it's suffering from USB issues. So it's the Pluto, not the whole stuff. So I don't know if this is going to work or not. So it may be a bit embarrassing, we'll see. But if we go here, you can see a carefully positioned power meter, which is in exactly the wrong place to see the spectrum. If I try and switch it on, it may or may not come on. No. No. So it's having some issues, so I'll go and deal with that, because it's the Pluto that's doing this. For some reason, it doesn't seem to reliably switch on and off without a signal going into it, so I'm going to have to give it a signal. So let me just do that. By signal I mean a data, UDP data. The problem is I'm also trying to do UDP data to the other one. So let's see if this will make it work, and if not I will try it again later and show you it working properly at some point. No. Okay, I'll have another go with that in a minute. I shall go and try and work out what's going on, but the Pluto is very, very unhappy. Usually needs to be rebooted in these circumstances. Anyway, so let's go back to my camera and show you what else is going on then. So the aim of all this is to send low data rate on 10 meters, and I get about 100 watts out with good side lobes, and the signal is visible on the SDR in New York, and Rob has done something similar, and he's managed to get IQ data back from that SDR, but the problem with that SDR is it only has 18 kilohertz of bandwidth, or 20 kilohertz of bandwidth, something like that, and the IQ. So we can only do really, really low data rate, but he did manage to get a test card back, so we know it works with optimum conditions. So anyway, that's the idea. I'll fiddle with this and see if I can persuade the Pluto to do something sensible, and maybe on the next over I'll have it going. So with that, who do I need to pass it to? Oh, and Ed, I really enjoyed your CW. The other thing I was thinking of, it's the Grand Prix today, isn't it? So that'll be an interesting thing to be watching. Sprint race was really fun. So it's the stage in the season where no one really cares about who wins, because the championship is over. So it could be an exciting race. With that, I'm not sure who to pass it to. I did have it down as DL5 Romeo Tango. I don't know if that's correct. Apologies if not. So round to you. DL5RT G0 MJW.
Yes, good afternoon, everybody. This is Delta Lima 5 from your Dengo. I hope you can hear me. It's my second QSO here on the wideband transponder on QO-100. And call sign here is Delta Lima 5 from your Tango. My QTH is Friedrichshafen. You might know the city here because of the ham radio taking place. We had the pleasure to have ham radio this year again after 2 years of COVID required stop. Name is Robert, as I said. I live here directly at the Lake Constance. My QTH is very close to the city of Friedrichshafen. As I said, my second QSO here. Forgive me if not everything is perfect from my system. Conditions here is I have a Lime SDR Mini, a little preamplifier, then a modified Nokia PA, outputting about 40 watts currently, do a 1.8 meter Kathrein dish here in my backyard. This is my condition here currently. I hope you can get and receive all my information properly. So pleasure to join you here. I just discovered that you have this kind of round regularly. It would be a pleasure for me to join also more often here from now on. So
Mike. Robert, perfect. No problem to copy you. I think the next on loan, online will be Golf Whiskey 7 Bravo Zulu Yankee. Peter, would you like to take it from Zulu Sierra 6 Yankee India? Down. Hello, Robert. Yeah, we copied you nicely. I just wonder what happened to small net today. Such a lot going on. Let me see. Yeah. Why am I frozen? No, I haven't. Such a lot going on today. We also had a message on the link from David Shaw, Mike 5, Tango X-Ray Juliet. And hello, Mike. I see you're at the Cenotaph today. Yeah, it's the closest Sunday to the 11th of the 11th. But thanks for the photograph. Yeah, it looks well attended as usual. But anyway, let's see. Are you back by any chance, Peter? Failing which, we'll pass it back to Ed. It's a very... Are you ready to go now? Roger. So I will pass it back to you then, Ed. Sorry, as you were, Peter. Golf Whiskey 7 Bravo Zulu.
I didn't receive Rob directly. I didn't receive Rob via the satellite. I had to saw him on YouTube. So by the time it was my go, I'd missed it. So with a bit of delay. Sorry about that. And then I'd not switched to PA, the driver PA on. So that's why I didn't appear. Okay, on everything. Good to see everybody this afternoon. Lovely afternoon here in Wales. Strange thing in the sky. I think it might be called the sun. It's made an appearance. A rare appearance for this time of year. What else? What I was going to say? Yeah, Mike, getting on well with the 10 meters, aren't you? Excellent stuff. That's going to be the plan this side. It isn't as far advanced as yours, obviously. I've been busy for the last week or two and getting out and about, and it's been my birthday, so I've been kind of away for a few days. I was talking to Gary yesterday, I think with VMix. I forgot to mention that a free trial is available for 30 days. That's a fully featured, no non-watermarked free trial with their blessing from VMix. So you can try the top of the range one, which can do obviously 4K, etc. And then it starts at about $60. You don't need, it's not the basic version, which is what I use here, is the basic version, which has got, I think 3 or 4 inputs, and it's HD. They used to do a standard resolution one, but no longer. I think about $350 for the fully featured one, but not the top of the 4K one. Which has quite a lot of nice things in it. The fully featured one, you have call, which you can bring another station in via the web browser into VMix, and of course it plays very well with NDI. I know I'm OBS seems to be flavor, but I'm hoping my lips are synced, which is not guaranteed the case. But pretty much compared to OBS, which seems to be fairly random. One of the reasons I ditched it is because you could spend quite some time adjusting just so the lip sync, and the next time you start it up or you go to transmit, it seemed to have just wandered off and to another time zone, as Mike rightly said. So couldn't be doing with that. Okay, so not much amateuring done. I have a little bit of video which I may show and bore you with later, or maybe now, I don't know. On my recent trip to the NEC there, to the Midlands, to the classic car show, which was pretty good, to be fair. Cars were far shinier, I'm sure, and better condition than they ever left the factory at the time. So I had it round, I think. I don't know who's going next. I was out last night till quite late and consumed far too much alcohol. So I'm not feeling at my best today. So a bit wobbly. Yeah. Anyway, there we go. Apologise if I'm dropping in and out. I have tried the priority. There is a way to set priorities on the computer. Well, there's obviously more than one way. You can set it through Task Manager and detail, but a permanent way is needed, because once you close the program down and restart it, it tends to sort of default to normal or whatever Windows thinks it should be. So that is a problem. I think that's the cause for my drop in and drop out on occasion. With that, I'll hand it round. I'm sorry, I don't know who's next. I haven't seen that list. I'm probably not watching the right place. I just watch it on the frequency display thing, the pan adapter version, and the list there. I don't know. I don't know where others are watching the messaging. I don't know, but yeah, GW7B is away clear.
%, Peter. Beautiful signal now. Really nice color. Everything's working like a bomb. Now, I was just teasing Leslie. I just want to also wish a welcome to Johan ZS6 India Whiskey, to Nishar. He's the son of ZS6 Radio, and also my supplier of electronic components. And to Walter, ZS6 Charlie Delta November, Johan ZS6 Alpha Foxtrot, and we did mention Nina is watching, Delta Lima 2 Golf Radio Charlie in Germany, Benna, Papa Alpha 3 Fox Bravo X-ray is at the salt mine, and then Cor, Zulu Sierra 6 Charlie Romeo says hi to all, and Albert, Ocean November 4 Alpha Alpha Hotel. Robert, very welcome again. Welcome onto our worldwide net. You're more than welcome. It's lovely to see someone from Friedenhafen, a very, very popular and well-known town or city in Germany, of course, because of the amateur radio shows or conventions held there. And wonderful, nice signal, no problem to copy you. And then also, by the way, ZS6X Yankee Lima Bravo, ZS6 Yankee Lima Bravo. Very rainy Johannesburg. By golly, we've had rain here. Mike, all good on the 10-meter stuff? I see 10 meters. Well, in fact, the HF bands are really wakening up. I've got a beacon running on HF, on CW. It's the Zulu Sierra 6 Delta November beacon, which we've been running since the beginning of the year. And it used to be about, on average, 40, 50 stations receiving it. And now it's into the 250, 240, 180, that range. And I was going to put a new antenna on, as you might have remembered. I got the thing all built up. I just had to tune it. But I haven't done it since, because it's good enough. The people are hearing it. I might do it later, but I thought, you know what, I must leave it now, because I've got a standard so we can see what's happening to the HF bands. I don't want to go and upset that apple cart. And then, yeah, Mike, I see you've got the PTT problem. I've had that. Last week I couldn't come on the air because on Sunday morning I couldn't PTT. In fact, I could do nothing. The little lights flickered on the Pluto, but so I thought it could be the USB port, although nobody touched it. So I tried to solder it, and I did a fantastic job of messing it up. I wanted to remove the USB socket, and I've got one of these fancy infrared soldering stations, but I was too impatient. So I pulled a little bit too hard on it and successfully messed up 2 tracks on the PC board. So I've ordered a new sockets, and then by accident we got the wrong ones, but it doesn't matter. That's for the C type. I think these are the mini type or something, mini USB. However, we're going to try and find some next week. Nishari is actually going to do it, and see if we can get some more. Then I can get the thing sorted. I just want to see. This camera doesn't focus as quickly as what I would have. Let me just get this so I can see myself. Maybe. Oh, it does. It focuses quite quick. It's a new camera I've got here. There you can see next to D2 and D1, sort of in the middle of the screen, 2 tracks pulled off. So let me just go closer, just out of fun now, to see what this camera does. Sorry about the camera shake. And that's without alcohol. Anyway, so there we go. So what I did was I had a spare Pluto, but the D version. So I thought, well, let's try it, because it's got slightly different software that you have to load up. But it's all working quite well. I'm quite happy with the signal. And then in the meantime, I got a new camera, the new Canon EOS R7. They arrived in South Africa in August, then very rapidly sold out, and the new batch arrived last week. Yeah, Sunday is a new week, so it's last week. And then on Thursday, they let me know that the order I'd placed is ready to be dispatched, so I paid for it, and it arrived on Friday. So I still don't know how to drive the camera. You need a pilot's license, but we sort of got it streaming, and it looks like it's quite clear and crisp. Still a lot to learn about it, but I got a compliment from Peter, and he's a fundi when it comes to videos. He's got more cameras than I have brains, so he's really experimented and good on that tip on the VM. Is that what you call it? I did write it down the other day, so I'll be looking at that, Peter, and see what that does instead of using OBS. The thing is, I'm now quite used to OBS, and I think the quality is okay. Of course, there could be more color in my own picture, maybe a different color shirt or a different color background. But my depth of field is nice because the background is out of focus, so it's focused on the target. Unfortunately, there's not much you can do with the face, but as I said to G4FKK one day, old Martin, when he came up with a fantastic camera, I said, geez, Martin, you've aged. And that's only because of the focus in the detail. But at the moment, this camera is running 4K. Now, I've got 4K fine and plain 4K. There's no difference in size or whatever. So I don't know what the difference is. I haven't experimented enough. I don't know what the difference is. And nowhere in their literature. But you know how it is with radio hams. We only study the handbook years later. So that'll have to be done to get the best out of the machine. Right, so let's just see if we've been joined by anyone else. Let me get out of this program and have a look quickly on the net. It doesn't look like it. Let me go on to the other net. Oh, thank you, Mike. Good picture, so I'm happy about that. And yeah, put in another box and wire USB. That's exactly what I'm going to do, is to wire a separate a socket and a more robust one, Mike, and then just wire it with the wires and get it done. Take it to the right parts of the circuit, and that'll be more robust. Because there was nothing wrong with the old one. I've been using it, 2.5 years or so since we've been on DATV. It's really worked well. It hasn't given trouble. Okay, so the next in line will be back to you, Ed, in Brazil. Papa Yankee 2 Radio November to pick it up from Zulu Sierra 6 Yankee India.
Roger. Thanks, Gary. Just say hello to Robert, Delta Lima 5 Radio Tango. Welcome to the worldwide DATV Net. Nice to see you. Great image. You may have some problem with the audio. I don't know if it's maybe you can decrease video bit rate and give more space for the audio packets, maybe. But yeah, the image was okay from Frederick Hafen. I really confess I don't know how to pronounce this name very well, but nice to see you, Robert. Nice to see you, Peter, as well. Yeah, vMix may be a good option. I used vMix at the beginning of my DATV adventures. During the trial period, and yeah, quite nice. I mean, it's good. I mean, maybe vMix is more immune to the Windows 10 updates. We don't know, but I don't know if it would have all the features that OBS has, because yeah, OBS has it's packed with full of features, and well, I don't know. But maybe a good option, the vMix, for sure. And Gary, yeah, for sure, this USB connector from Pluto, that's a hell of a job you did there, because it's very delicate, and hope it will work fine. I think so far I lost one. For sure, one Pluto with this problem with the USB, and yeah, it died, and I didn't even try to replace it, because I would have well, maybe I have the tools, but I don't have the skills necessary to replace such a small component. The trails are too thin, and I didn't spend my time trying to replace it. But yeah, it's a huge problem. I lost also a Lime SDR, Lime USB. I lost it, and all because of these damn USB connectors. I'm missing the DB9. You guys remember DB9, RS-232, DB25? Those are good. I mean, very reliable, mechanically robust, and no problem at all. But those USB connectors are really not suitable for amateur radio hands. Just I can tell you. Maybe for IT people, I mean, people that deals only with computers, maybe it's okay, but for amateur radio monsters, I don't think it's suitable. But anyways, and Martin, yeah, nice video, nice quality image, QSL about the PTT issue. Oh, I also would like to say to Mike, Golf Zero, Mike Juliet Whiskey, interesting experiments on 10 meters. I have no idea how to receive the signal. To transmit the signal, I have a question. Instead of using Pluto and a transverter, maybe, I don't know if this is gonna be suitable, this TRX Duo. This works from well, it works on HF up to 60 megahertz, I believe. I don't know if instead of using Pluto with a transverter, if this guy here will gonna be, you know, able to do the experiments on the ATV on 10 meters. Yep. That's something I don't know if you guys have considered it already or not. But anyways, that's it from my side, guys. Thank you very much. All the best. Have a nice week. It's gonna be holidays here for us. Long holiday, November 15th, but not for me, as usual. I'm gonna have to work normally. Okay, go for Fox Kilo Kilo. Please go ahead, Martin. This is Papa Yankee 2, Romeo November, and the worldwide DATV Net.
Okay, Ed, all copied. And we still have lip sync. That's good. Well, we have at this end anyway. Yeah, very good, and very good afternoon to Robert, Delta Lima 5 Romeo Tango. Nice to see you for the first time, Robert, and a very good first effort getting onto the worldwide net. That's extremely well done. I think we all remember our first attempt at the worldwide net. Usually something goes wrong, but so far everything's been okay with your signal, Robert. And morning tracking picture, absolutely superb, as Gary was saying. And Gary, your new camera looks very good too. Oh, did I just freeze then? Don't know. Anyway, and Mike, looking forward to seeing how much oomph you can stick out of that 10-meter amplifier. And it's very brave of you to do a live demo like that. That normally goes. I'm going to try one in a minute. Not a radio one, so it might not go quite as wrong as mine usually do. What else have we got? Oh, happy birthday, Peter, by the way. I'm imagining that was quite recently then, if you're still suffering the effects of too much beer. But you don't look in bad shape. And yeah, interesting on the vMix. I think I showed these pictures, well, one of these pictures on Thursday. Let's just see if I've got audio with it as well. Better turn that up. The radio studios I've been working on in Birmingham and Manchester are very well equipped with TV, because it's a radio. So I still can't quite get my head around we need such excellent TV facilities in radio studios. This is a terrible picture of one of the studios. You can the cameras. This is before they were mounted. This is a few weeks old. But look at all that lighting. And we've got 6 of these cameras in this tiny studio. They're 4K bird dog cameras, so they're very good. But what was interesting was they're all run on an NDI network, as you were saying, Peter. And we use the full-fat version of vMix to control them all. But so I had a go on it and was able to help out a bit because obviously we're all supposed to be radio engineers on this project. So, but I was able to help a bit with the video, and I didn't really like vMix, but I think it's like as Gary was saying, I've got used to OBS and what it can and can't do, and I found vMix a bit finicky, to be honest. But NDI is really good, isn't it? That's marvellous the way that works. Okay, Gary, by the way, and good afternoon to all the watchers in ZS land. You've got a lot of watchers there, Gary. Let's hope we'll see a few more of them on before too long. And okay, about Dave TXJ being at the Cenotaph today. Yes, he did mention that on Thursday. And well done for attempting the USB socket on the Pluto. I have done one of those before, and I've got the actual, the official connectors. I've got a small bag of them. But very, very finicky. Oh, hello. Where did I disappear to that time? Anyway. Oh, Ed. Yeah, D connectors are okay until you start getting some of these more modern ones with far too many pins in them. think they're called D subs or something. I had to have a look at one of those the other day, and never again. I've not seen the TRX Duo, I think you called it there. I shall have to look that up. And sorry, you're not going to get on the holiday front. Well, this is just a quick thing I was going to show you. If I move over to the unsteady cam. So as you know, I like to fix old watches. So this is an old watch that came to me very, very cheap, not working. And so I cleaned it in the watch cleaning machine, which I've got working properly now. And it's come out quite nicely. So this is telling me it's gaining 5 seconds a day. It's got a what would you call it? A swing on the balance of 289 degrees, which is very good, and 0 milliseconds beat error. So there's no error between the ticks and the tocks. Oh look, thank you. It's just put it up to 0.1 millisecond. Anyway, that's not especially interesting, but what I thought was quite interesting. So that watch is from the 1970s, and was in a bit of a state when I got it, but it's going pretty well. By the way, I usually set these watches to be a few seconds a day fast. It's slightly less annoying than being a few seconds a day slow. But what I've got here is a brand new Seiko watch. It's not a top of the range or anything. It's a very nice watch though. But what was interesting, when you put that on the time grapher, which I'm just doing now, let's just wait for it to detect stuff. So there you go, it's running at plus 4 seconds, which is great, 281 degrees, which is great. But look at that beat error, 1 millisecond. And that's effectively new out of the box. So I might have to take that to bits and see if I can improve on that. Anyway, enough about horology and the horrors of that. And D subs are from the 1960s. Well, are they the ones I'm thinking of with far too many pins in? There was a brand new one in one of these studios, and had got a crimped up cable in it, so I was trying to fix that. 100 watts, 150 watts, depending on the shoulders. Well, that's quite good, isn't it? The New York repeater is booming in at the moment, so does look quite phasey though, so that'll be an interesting thing. But if Rob's managed to get the signals back from the SDR, that's pretty good. Right, enough of that. Back round to you, Mike. G0 Mike Juliet Whiskey and the worldwide net. This is G4 Fox Kilo Kilo standing by, and I will make this final. See you all next week, hopefully. Bye.
Okay. Thank you, Martin. Just showing you the amplifier again. So here it is. Now I don't know if it's going to work or not. It worked a minute ago, then it didn't. So no. No, it's developed the same fault again. Oh, there it goes. Now it's going on and off madly. It's not going to do any damage to the amplifier, but it is annoying that it does these things. I don't know why it does these things. It gets into some sort of oscillation, doesn't it? And I don't know if it's the Pluto itself or something. Oh, there it is. It's It suddenly decided to get stable. Typical, huh? Anyway, so that is just over 100 watts by the time it's come out of the filter. The telewave is overreading a bit. Hang on. I haven't switched to it yet, have I? So you couldn't see that going on and off. You'd only see the LED flashing, and it's shaking up and down because I'm moving. But there you go. So it's a little bit too much power, probably. I can knock it down a bit if it'll behave itself. Don't know if that'll go down or not. I think it's ignoring me. Oh no, it's gone down. And you know, it'll do that okay. It's taking 4 amps at 48 volts, which is okay. There's no actual data going through it, just nulls at the moment. But the other thing is it. I'm going to turn that off actually. Upsets my HF radio, which is on the other antenna. It's quite a strong signal. But there you go. So there you are. That's a little bit less. That's 75 watts, I think. But it's very clean at that level. And the harmonics are all filtered out by the low pass filter, which I got after that power meter. So the power meter is responding a little bit to some of the harmonics. Not that they're all that high at this level, but you want to get rid of them. Okay. Yeah, I should just go back to it just to show you it's still working, because it's a bit of a miracle. And I'll turn it off and see if it goes off. Oh, look at that. Went off. On. Goes mad. Off. No, thinks about it. So, definitely some instability there, which I think is due to the USB cable. Okay, anyway, lots of interesting discussions so far, and like your watch and the 1 millisecond error doesn't sound like a lot to me, but it's the difference between I don't know, first and third place in a Formula 1 race these days, so I suppose it matters. Yes, Ed, you can use those SDRs. In fact, you can use GNU Radio and an SDR to generate a signal. You just need to run the software, and some people are doing that. So you can certainly transmit that way. Receive is a bit more difficult. We've discovered SDR Angel. You can use SDR Angel to receive, but it works much better with DVB-S than DVB-S2, and the performance is still a long way down on the mini tuner in terms of the signal you need to get it to work. So I think you're better off using a transverter, but if you haven't got one, then no problem. Right, with that, and Gary, your picture was excellent. I'd like to see you transmitting in 4K. Well, maybe you can do that on a later over. But it was very, very good, very sharp, and the colour balance was much better than the previous webcam. I noticed that proper cameras have much better colour, so you're starting to look a bit like Peter in terms of colour quality. So round to Robert, who also had a good picture. Lost your sound in the middle slightly, but I'm sure it'll come back. So with that, let's find a test card and say 7.3. Thanks everyone. G0MJW, passing it around to DL5RT.
Yeah, thanks for passing the microphone over to me now. So I'm not sure if my audio is better now. I'm still playing around a little bit with my FEC rates and also the input in the system. Currently I have a bit of an issue with going directly from OBS Studio, so I have to go through my webcam XSplit system and then feed into DATV Express, which is a bit cumbersome. I'm working on a better method to do that. Unfortunately, it's not so easy with the Lime STR Mini to get the signal to where I need it. So working on that. and this is a temporary experimental setup, so to speak. So I hope you can receive me well, and was a pleasure to be with you here today. I'm working on my setup. Hopefully next time I have a better image and audio quality, so that we can really go better here, that you can hear and see me a bit better than what it is there today. Yes, this is basically the final from my side, so I wish you all a good Sunday afternoon, and 73 from Friedrichshafen from Bodensee.
Leon, Mike has joined us. Thank you. So I'd just like to bring in Leon, and then Leon, if you pass it to Peter, and then Peter can pass it back to me. ZS1 Mexico, if you will be so kind as to pass it to Golf Whiskey 7 Bravo Zulu Yankee, Peter, who can then pass it back to me from Zulu Sierra 6 Yankee India.
Okay. I'm in. But I'm not really seeing my own picture very well. Okay, sorry there, Leon. I didn't hear any sound from you, and you seem to have gone. I've got two cameras going here. That's my Lumix Panasonic Lumix GH4. Just pointing towards, and I can't get it to focus. I can't get it to do anything really. It seems to be a bit of a mystery to me. To show that it is an actual live picture. That's pointing at my good camera, and at the monitor and the clutter on the desk, obviously. And that needs mending. I'm hoping that you're going to get really good at mending watches. The name escapes me now, but I don't know if you can see. If you can, I'm watching the. It seems to be a bit foggy on the inside, and obviously, am I got audio? Am I transmitting audio? Yes, I am, because I'm using the mixer on the desk there rather than. What are we doing now? There we go. So that's my second camera, which doesn't seem to focus. It seems to be working now. I haven't used the camera, I must say, in about a year and a half, 2 years, and I can't remember how it works. Our familiarization is pretty low at the moment. Although I knew every part of it previously, I could use it on the fly and use it in anger. Take some photos from Morn FM. I've got a T-shirt for Morn FM somewhere. I think it's Mike. I'm not sure. The guy there who showed the bird dogs and the NDI. Apologies, terrible for names. I did a little bit with Morn FM, which are very far less grand than the BBC. I think that you work for, but and a lot simpler station. I used to strangely, I was supposed to be sound department, and I ended up taking photos at events and things. We have to use a bit of a rock concert on the in Amloch Seaport, Popperfest, I think it used to be called. That used to be great fun. I used to take photos there, go behind stage and stuff. So I really enjoyed that. Anyway, regardless, great stuff. Thank you, everybody. Very enthused by Mike's 10 meters gear, and he's got it going. I shall have to be progressing in that direction, I think. From where I am here, I'd be interested to see how it does ground wave as well as DX, but the stations I speak to are generally on Anglesey, and I'm on the mainland now. So I'm sure it works probably with 75 watts or even 100, 200 watts, which is quite achievable on HF. It might be very interesting to see how far it works really well over ground wave. So that'll be fun. That's the new direction this side as well. Obviously, it's going to take a lot longer than Mike, though. He's already well into it. So very good, Mike. Excellent stuff. And everybody else. And Gary, great picture from you. It's difficult to get a good colour, I have to say. I mean, you need 3 chips. I think that's the top and bottom of it. If you want good colour, I don't know what is it. But modern stuff does seem to work pretty well. I think it's just trying to get the saturation. I mean, the Panasonic here looks very saturated, and colour seems a bit fake and generally very unstable. If you change the lighting and stuff, it does seem a great deal compared to the 3-chip one, which seems to take it all in its stride. And with that, I'll hand it round and call this my final. And we'll catch you again sometime. I'll probably be on the BATC one. I don't know if I'm working. I can't think at this moment. The shift is such that it varies from week to week. And that's it. I am sort of fading now a little bit. I did have a heavy night last night, and many pints were drank. I wasn't very late coming home. I did have a kebab, which I didn't eat naturally, so that's a complete waste of money. I spent a small fortune on the taxi home. Luckily not disturbing the wife, so she wasn't too frosty this morning, because last time I went out, I started banging around the house, and she was very frosty for at least 3 or 4 days, so it must have really upset her. So that's always a bad thing. With that, thank you, and catch you.
Sounds like Andy Cap. All right, Peter. Let's just see. Leon, would you like to come in? ZS1 Mike ZS6YI.
Oh, okay, just a moment. Oh, okay, just a moment. Oh, okay, just a moment. Okay, sorry about that. Let me just keep my audio. Okay, yes, my outside UPS tripped because I'm feeding the inside UPS from the outside one. And that actually is just on the limit for the outside one. Now the outside one is just driving the amplifier normally, and the inside one, the computers and the exciters. Okay, and I forgot to put the mic on. But fortunately now the power has just come on, so we don't even have to worry about the UPS. Okay, Mike, what I was saying is that 10 meter thing sounds very interesting. And I'm not sure how low the mini tuner goes. I think it goes to 2 meter definitely, and maybe even down to 6 meters. So the simplest would be to just make a little converter with a nice input filter and a nice RF preamp, and shove that into the mini tuner, and then we must try and see if we can receive you. Okay, Peter. Okay, don't go away yet. Gary, yeah, I've messed up my station quite a bit last night, and that's why I'm so democard today. This is my new, I took it out of the box yesterday, EOS M. It's identical to the one that I've been using for a couple of years now. This is the first version. You have, I think, the 7th version of the EOS M. Now, remember I told you this thing, the focusing frame, I couldn't get rid of it. And you can't. But then I remembered that some guys, I think in America, because it was such a popular camera, they wrote extra firmware for this thing, which they called Magic Lantern. And it's still on the internet, so I quickly downloaded it and installed it on the camera. And lo and behold, there you can switch off the flicking focusing frame. Oh, it gives you all sorts of... It even makes it work 4K if you want to. They've got zillions of extra features when you're running Magic Lantern on it. But after thorough comparison with this Canon that I'm using now, it does better. Compared to my other Canon, this EOS M was better. But not this one that I bought at the swap shop the other day. This one still gives a better picture, I think. So I'll stick to this. Although the depth of field is very deep compared to the EOS M, where you're going to have nice shallow depth of field. This thing is, it's a movie camera, so it's got lots of depth of field because of the shorter length and the much shorter, smaller chip. But why I said, Peter, that Magic Lantern has even got a vector scope and a waveform monitor that you can call up on the screen of this camera. So it's very nice firmware. It only works on Canon cameras. It was designed for the whole range of Canon still cameras, which can also do movie. It's not for Canon movie cameras. I don't think you can even upgrade the firmware. I'm not sure, but all the still Canon still cameras, you can update the firmware in the camera, and then if you add Magic Lantern to it, you've got all these fancy features. So sorry for messing up the whole thing. Yeah, you were. I'm going to give it to you now again. Oh no, rather I'll give it to Gary. So Gary, back to you. ZS6 Yankee India for the group from ZS1 Mike.
Okay, Leon. We just see very nice picture. ZS1 Mike. ZS6YI. Right, I just want to also welcome Jean. I think he's in Brazil as well. Jean Surex. Nice to work you there. And Jacques, ZS6 Whiskey Delta Lima in a little place called Piet Retief in South Africa. And then Ian, ZS1 India Hotels watching as well. So we have, let's see, 34 stations on YouTube, which is very nice. And we just wish to welcome everyone again. So with that, I'm going to call it the net today. Thank you very much for coming up. Thanks, Mike, for an interesting demo again. Yeah, I wonder what frequency you're running, Mike. The switch is a relay, so I don't think it applies. Okay, I see. All right, I hope you get it right anyway. Maybe you need to, maybe there's losses in that cable. from the USB side. But I'm sure with a little bit of scratching around, you'll get that thing sorted. But yeah, you can tell us what frequency, 29,150. Right, I'll go and listen there. My beam's stuck in some mad direction, and 2 elements are off. So but I'm sure I'll still be able to receive. Conditions are quite good. Right, with that, guys, we're going to close the net. Wish everyone on frequency a very happy day. Thank you for joining, Robert. And we look forward to the next time. The last over was fine. No problem with the audio. I copied you perfectly, so all good. And yeah, I can do with some more color. The color of the camera is fine. It's just that the lighting's not perfect, and then I don't have the right colorful shirts on. Because if I bring something with color, then you can see the camera is fine. If I do that, let me just see if it focuses though. Where is it? No, it's not focused. There we go. So you can see the blue, red, and the yellow is not. The yellow is fine. That's exactly what it looks like on the button here. So it seems to be okay. I can't say anything wrong with the color. It's just I need to get a colorful shirt in the background. Then it'll accentuate it a bit. But anyway, there we go. So yeah, all good and a bit of fun. Right, gentlemen and lady listening, Nina, I wish to thank everyone for coming on frequency today. It's been interesting as usual. And we look forward to seeing each other next week this time. So this is ZS6YI. Just going to throw the ball in the air, closing net, opening it up for general use. 73 ZS6YI QRT.